Hello everyone, welcome to another Valheim video. Today we're going to learn why some players love no-map Valheim. It may sound simple, but no-map could mean a lot of different things to a lot of different players. For the sake of this video, I'm going to refer to no-map as any method of obfuscating the map or access to it. And we'll get more into the different methods later on in the video. Some people imagine no-map as a really challenging mode, other people think it's some kind of test, way to prove yourself. But I don't think no-map is about proving anything to anybody. It's just another way to play Valheim. Maps themselves are quite useful, and they can be really fun to work with and share with other players, especially when people are drawing their own maps and marking locations and that sort of thing. No-map itself isn't an attack on maps so much as it is an attack on the GPS icon, this little arrow here. That little yellow marker is changing your Valheim experience more than you realize. In fact, it could be robbing you of a more enjoyable one. When you're out in the game world, you can think that you're lost. You can fear being lost. But then just one key press and boom, instantly, you know exactly where you are, where your base is, where you were. You may still be far away from home and you might still be in danger, but ultimately, you're not lost. And that's the tragedy. The mystery of your position is completely gone, and even worse than that, it's not gated, it's not given as a reward for a quest. It's one key press on your keyboard away at any moment. The yellow icon seems small, but it is one of the most influential bundle of pixels in Valheim. Because of that little arrow, you don't need to learn the shape of the land, you don't need to learn the intimate details of the hills and the coastlines and the silhouettes of the mountain and the world tree, because all you have to do is press M. You don't have an incentive to learn the depth of all those things we just mentioned. This produces a really serious problem in the long run, because the deeper truth is that feeling lost is a necessary building block to feel that there is something out there worth finding. That experience fundamentally relies on you being able to get lost. Being lost puts the mystery back in the world. You no longer have much certainty. Suddenly, you have to pay attention to the details, the sky, the objects around you, in a way that you didn't have to before. And the consequence of this, it's your immersion. Your long-term ability to enjoy Valheim hinges on how quickly you rush through its world. Being lost is actually one of the most important feelings that no-map adds back into Valheim. Not because being lost is fun by itself, it can be stressful, it's annoying, and sometimes it makes problems you're not prepared for. Well, it always makes problems you're not prepared for. But all that being said, the fear of being lost itself will alter your relationship with the entire game world. When you know that you can lose your way, the world becomes more intense and meaningful. You're going to need some techniques to survive. I'm going to teach you the three most important ones: coastlines, paths, and the world tree itself. Coastlines are your safest landmark because they're easier to recognize than the interior of the land. When you're deep in the flat forest, it's pretty easy to get lost because it all looks pretty similar. There's many clearings in the meadows, but sometimes you'll get them confused for each other and then actually get even more lost as a result. And that's why the coastline itself is so important. It's essentially a natural path that's made for you to follow. And then we have every no-map player's friend, the world tree itself. The world tree is always in the same position in the sky, so if you can see it, then you know where you are, sort of, all right? So that's the base of it, and the base comes up from where? The east, and then we go up here, follow it, it's pointing west. The world tree becomes your guide to keep you from getting lost when you can see it. There's some problems with that though. You can't always see the world tree. And this is why thunderstorms on no map mode, you really have to be a little careful with them, especially if you're going out to sail. They could make you get completely and absolutely lost. And that's why the three best friends of every no map player are following the coastline, making paths so that you know where you've already been, and regularly looking at the world tree as you travel, look into the sky frequently, so you update your awareness of where you are in the game world, especially when you're sailing. The classic moment to get lost in no map is when you see a serpent and then get turned around without realizing it, or a thunderstorm happens. So pay attention to the oceans, because they can really knock you out of commission. No map is best when it fits the player. Oh, that was nice. And what I mean by that is that no map is best for those of you who enjoy exploration and feel like exploration is inherently rewarding. If you enjoy getting lost and learning landmarks, building roads, and slowly turning this unknown world into one familiar, then no map can be a perfect experience for you. But if you want a really efficient progression system and you want things to happen quickly and you are quite busy and you don't have a lot of time to play, then no map probably isn't the best option for you. And that's fine, because no map has a specific audience. It doesn't need to work for everybody. It needs to work for the people who enjoy no map variants. As you play a lot of Valheim, you'll start to recognize the patterns of the world, and it'll feel kind of more boring, and you'll lose interest in exploration. And this is something that no map really helps to resolve. This is to say that no map isn't just about hiding the map. It's really not that simple. It's about the effect that not accessing the map has. It makes landmarks matter, roads matter, coastline matters, the angle of the sky matters. That's why some players love it. Not because it's the only way to play Valheim, rather because it reveals a version of Valheim where exploration lasts longer, and veterans who've played the game for a long, long time can still feel challenged. For the right players, no map doesn't make Valheim tedious. It makes Valheim more Valheim. And ultimately, that's what matters. It's all about enjoying Valheim to the best of your own individual ability and your preferences. And that's going to be different for everybody. I tried max raids, I tried no raids, I tried no map, I tried no portal, and ultimately my favorite way to play Valheim is no map, no portal. All the other stuff, whatever, it can be whatever you want it to be. But those two parts, for me, really enrich the experience, and I never went back once I started doing that. And you don't have to be super strict about it. Like, just because it's no map doesn't mean you have to get rid of the map entirely. Some people like to use mods like No Map Printer, which tie the map to the cartography table. This means that you can't use your map in normal gameplay. But if I build a cartography table and then I look at it, I can see the map, right? There are loads of different ways to play no map, and the best one varies depending on your particular playstyle and the group that you're playing with. Personally, I don't think that pure no map is actually that good because it can cause a lot of friction. Really, my favorite version of no map is when there's a map tied to a cartography table, so that way you can still get lost, but then most players still have that, impulse, and to be honest, they're gonna use maps anyway, even if you try and stop them. You really shouldn't try and fight it too hard. I think it's best to allow people to play the way that they feel is most enjoyable. And as long as they're not getting in the way of someone else, then probably that's perfectly fine. If you want to experience no map, no portal combined with a complete overhaul of Valheim's progression and most of its mechanics, then you might enjoy Enigma Mode. Enigma Mode is built using no map, no portal Valheim and the mod Expand World Prefabs, which makes it vanilla compatible. That means you can put it on a server and anybody can join, even crossplay people, and try it out. You can try the mod pack yourself in single player through Thunderstore. I personally recommend playing it with the Enigma Mode Quality of Life mod pack. The Quality of Life mod pack adds some community mods by Azamat and Shud and some other people, giving you some more inventory space, making it easier to craft things, and giving you paper dolls, etc, etc. That's why I recommend that you play Enigma Mode with this Enigma Mode Quality of Life pack that I've put together. Although it's totally fine if you want to use your own, I strongly encourage you to start with this one and see how it feels, and then add things to it as you need them. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope this video gave you some insight into why some of us really love no map Valheim.